July statistics are in, and they don't look good for U.S. tourism. I'm Steve Sandford. You're watching Dominion Report. It appears Canadian tourists are leading the rest of the world on a boycott of the U.S. In July, 1.6 million Canadian resident return trip vehicles crossed back into Canada from the United States. That's down from 2.6 million vehicles in July of last year, a reduction of a million cars, or about 37%. Now, we don't know exactly the average number of people per car when it comes to crossing the border, but we can guess that a million cars represents perhaps somewhere around 2 million people. We do know that the average Canadian tourist spends between $900 and $1,800 when visiting the US. So pick a figure somewhere in that range, perhaps even at the low end, and times that by 2 million tourists, and you get a sizable dollar figure that represents lost US tourism revenue in a single month. And that's just cars. It doesn't count air travel. Canadian resident return trips from the US were about 26% down in July versus July 2024. That's about 130,000 Canadians not traveling to the US by air relative to last year. In the meantime, international tourism to the US is also declining. According to the International Travel and Health Insurance Journal, overseas travel to the US, and overseas is defined as any country but Canada or Mexico, overseas travel is down 3.4% year over year, which represents another 100,000 visitors lost. Further, international travel to the US has not recovered from pre-COVID times, still down 20% compared to 2019. Governments from the following list of countries have issued travel advisories or travel guidance regarding travel to the US for their citizens. Those countries are Australia, Belgium, Canada, China, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, New Zealand, Portugal, and United Kingdom. Finland, for example, has advised its citizens to reconsider travel to the United States, and Germany has warned against a heightened risk of politically motivated violence. And yes, both of those are in quotes. So for the US tourism market, it's going to get worse. As we've discussed before on the channel, we keep hearing from US politicians asking Canadian tourists to return. And that's how we know this boycott is working. Eventually, those politicians will give up on asking us to visit, and hopefully some of them will get to the important work of making America a place we would want to visit. Maybe they could even make it great again.